The weird part about modern politics isn't even line anymore. It's performance art. Everybody got a story now, right? Everybody survived something, barely escaped some invisible movie scene that somehow always stars them as the final character standing between democracy and doom. And I'm starting to notice something else too. The people screaming the loudest about danger always seem weirdly addicted to feeling endangered.
So I had to take my husband today to a doctor's appointment for a routine procedure, and I'm sitting in the waiting room. And the only person, the only people in this waiting room aside from me is this very large, angry-looking man wearing a MAGA hat and his 3 small kids. And I'm sitting there looking all cute in a dress, and this guy keeps giving me evil looks, and I'm very uncomfortable. Like, I keep reminding myself that I got a knife in my purse. But I'm sitting there for a little bit, very tense, and then I look up, and then a few minutes later, a Mexican man came in and sat down, and then a black woman came in and sat down, and with each progressive person that came in and sat down in this waiting room, I watched this Trump-loving guy get more and more visibly upset and uncomfortable to the point where he just got up and got his kids and left.
I don't believe this person. I don't think that ever actually happened. Let me tell you why. You see that smug look, right? This is what they call main character energy. This is an individual who, for one reason or another, is suffering from multiple delusions. Number one, the whole, oh, I looked cute in a dress. Okay, like, let's just be objective here. I don't think that a lot of people would agree with you on that. But go a step further. Then the main character energy got worse, because then it was like, I had to remind myself that I had a knife in my purse, right? Okay, so what are you trying to say? You're subliminally saying, yeah, you're willing to take matters into your own hands, right? And the party of love, tolerance, peace, unity, kumbaya, right? And then this guy goes a step further, and he keeps on acting as if this person is uncomfortable by, the presence of this individual, that individual. Did you ever consider maybe the problem is you? Maybe the reason people feel uncomfortable is because you are sitting here presenting yourself as if you are something you are not and expecting the rest of the world to capitulate to your own delusion. Maybe that might be the case. So whenever I see a story or a video like this, I am willing to bet actual money that this never actually happened. This person just trying to do this to get some attention on social media. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully you agree. Those are my thoughts. I'm curious what yours might be.
Bro, I'm sorry, but that sounded less like a real interaction and more like somebody auditioning for sympathy points on TikToks. Right? Notice how detailed these stories always are when the villain is wearing a MAGA hat. Not a guy looked at me. No. It's a very large man. MAGA hat. 3 kids. Evil look. I had my knife. Then magically, every minority group enters the room one by one, like DLC characters unlocking safety bonuses. You know what I'm saying? Mexican man enters, stress level rises, black woman enters, threat level increases. At this point, all we're missing is Morgan Freeman narrating the waiting room. And somehow, the ending always lands in the same place. You see? The right wingers, they're dangerous. But here's what Damani was really getting, at underneath the joke. Some people have trained themselves to interpret disagreement as physical danger. That's new. A hat became a horror movie prop now. Yeah, that's what the MAGA hat represents for whatever reason. And when politics becomes identity theater instead of, reality, eventually people stop caring whether stories are true. As long as the story emotionally rewards their side. That's why these clips spread, man. Not because they're believable, because they feel useful. And speaking of feelings over reality, there's another conversation happening online that Democrats absolutely hate because it forces people to stop thinking emotionally for 5 seconds and actually look outside the window.
You know what I need? I need Black Democrats to stop asking what Republicans have done for Black communities when all you've done for 100 years or more is elect Democrats to govern your cities religiously.
Democrats love to belittle the southern red states. It's almost like they start to practice the ideology of classism. They say how dumb and uneducated the South is. They say we have no money and we're broke. But one thing they conveniently leave out is that most of these red states Inside of them, the major cities are controlled by one party. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into a list. This list is comprised of 15 cities that has some of the highest densities of black people. I'm going to give you the party that controls them and how consecutively they have been in control, meaning the other party has not had any control since. All right. Now, the top 2 cities I want to start with, they have some of the longest runs in U.S. history. All right. Now, this list is not in order, just to let you know. Number 1, Atlanta, Georgia. Controlled by Democrats for the last 147 years, meaning they have been in control of Atlanta since the 1800s. Number 2, New Orleans, Louisiana, the Big Easy. Controlled by the Democrats for 154 years. Number 3, Jackson, Mississippi, Democrat for the last 57 years. Number 4, Birmingham, Alabama, Democrat, 47 years. Number 5, Macon, Georgia, Democrat, the last 51 years. Number 6, Houston, Texas, Democrat, 44 years. Number 7, Memphis, Tennessee, Democrat, 34 years. And y'all over there complaining about Republicans maybe taking over. Number 8, Richmond, Virginia, 143 years. Number 9, Little Rock, Arkansas, Democrat, 70 years. Number 10, Washington, D.C., Democrat, 51 years. Number 11, Chicago, Democrat, 95 years. Number 12, Philadelphia, Democrat, 74 years. Number 13, Detroit, Democrat, 64 years. Number 14, Newark, New Jersey, Democrat, 119 years. Number 15 and final, St. Louis, Missouri, Democrat, 77 years. And once again, this is the cities that are comprised of high populations and density of black people. So as you would see, most of these cities have been controlled by the Democrat Party for over 50 years. Most of them have been controlled since before the Civil Rights Movement. Most of these cities are still complaining that the Republicans are the problem, though the Republicans haven't had control of it at all. And remember, many of those I called out was in the southern red states. So, once again, let me know how the Republicans are the problem. Your Democrat leadership has been running your cities to the ground. But let me know what y'all think. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Now, this is where the conversation gets harder for Democrats, because now we're talking outcomes, not slogans, not the hashtags, not we care, the results. Because eventually people stop listening to the people, to the speeches rather, and start looking at the neighborhood Walmart getting shut down. That's the problem. You can't keep calling a city progress while the residents are driving around potholes built during the Obama administration. People live there. They see it every day. And honestly, this next clip, it explains why a lot of Americans, why they feel mentally exhausted by politics now.
They're trying to rewrite history and tell everybody that it's been the Republican Party. I've had conversations with multiple people trying to convince me that the Republican Party was the party that enslaved people, or the party switch. Well, I'm so tired of it. And it's still in the news. And after all of these years of black people crying, screaming, equal rights, give us equal rights, give it to us. And then when they finally get it, finally receive it, it's not enough. It's not enough. You're taking our voices away. See, the Democrats have manipulated black people to think that they were for them all of these years. And now the Republicans are saying, look, you need to open your eyes to what's actually happening here. There's no representation. You've had white Democrats representing black people, primarily, let's use Tennessee, representing black people, and now an opportunity for a black woman to fill that position, and all of these ignorant, stupid black people out there kicking and screaming saying you're taking our representation away. What? It's almost like a white Republican, President Trump, removes the white slave Democrat master out of the way, and these black people saying, how dare you do that? Something is wrong in our society. Something is truly wrong. The more I look at this, it's like I get more and more frustrated. The more I look at it, like, what in the world? And then they wonder why, when certain people talk to black people, they just have this impression that black people don't understand. Tell me I'm wrong. Thank you for watching. Want more from me and other LFA hosts? Follow us at rumble.com/LFATV, LFATV.us, and at LFATVUS on X.
Yes. Please do. This right here, this is the tension nobody knows how to explain without getting yelled at online, right? A lot of people fought for equal opportunity, but now the conversation feels like, please come protect me from criticism too. And once accountability starts sounding offensive to people, society just gets weird quick. That's why normal conversations feel tense now. Everybody's scared somebody's feelings might outrank reality or something, Which leads directly to this final clip. Because what happens next... Well, no, not even next. What happens when political fear gets turned all the way up is this.
So let's call a spade a spade. The Democratic Party is turning its constituents into terrorists, and they're doing it on purpose. The constant rhetoric that creates fear will eventually turn into hate, which we already see. And if that hate is allowed to fester long enough, it will turn into desperation, which then leads into violence. What I'm saying is eventually, all of the Democratic supporters will get to a point where they feel like the unaliving of Trump, the cabinet, and all of their supporters will be the saving of America. And the Democratic Party knows that if they continue to spread fear and confusion and chaos, that their constituents will eventually become chaotic. They will become rioters. They will become terrorists. And we're seeing that more and more each day. This is what they want. People like Harry Sisson and Aaron Parnes are being paid to turn the Democratic supporters into terrorists. At some point, they will feel like the unaliving of MAGA, of anybody who supports Trump, would be a positive thing for America. This is where they're going. This is how demented this party is. The Democratic Party is America's Hamas. God bless.
Now, people gonna say this clip goes too far in parts. But the reason clips like this spread is because people genuinely believe political media is emotionally radicalizing Americans. And honestly, when every election cycle gets framed as the apocalypse, eventually unstable people start acting like they're living in one. That's the danger of turning politics into religion, right? Because once people believe the other side is just pure evil, basic disagreement starts feeling like war, and America looks exhausted from it. That's why more people are starting to tune out the emotional theater and ask the simple question. All right, what's actually true? And weirdly enough, that question alone makes a lot of powerful people uncomfortable. So, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write, still thinking. Write that in the comment section. That way I know you made it to the end. I don't know what's going on, y'all. YouTube say they don't like my videos no more. We're going to keep fighting the fight. Y'all be safe. Go check somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.